Hello everyone. We are the consultants hired by the TWU Manufacturing Company, and I'm Hitain. And along with my teammates, with every segment that I'm going to cover, I'm going to introduce all of my teammates. I just want to say that we are very thankful for this opportunity, that we are giving an overview of Finland's legal system as company plans to expand its operations over there. In this presentation, we'll cover Finland's legal system, court structure, business structures, and key legal considerations. And we are going to compare these with Canadian laws so that there is a smooth transition. The first segment is the overview of Finland's modern legal system, and T is going to help us and shed a light over that. Over to you, Ki.
Okay, thank you, Kitty. Finland joined the European Union in 1995 and adopted the currency euro in 2002. Finland's model legal system is among the most transparent and efficient in the world, as a civil law system relies on codified laws written in detail, making sure clarity and predictability, unlike Canada's common law system, where judicial precedents often influence decisions. Finland's prioritized laws established by the Parliament and implemented by government ministries. One significant feature of Finland's legal framework is that European Union law is directly applicable and take precedence over national legislation. What sets Finland's apart is in integration into the European Union legal framework. This ensures uniformity in trade data protection and environmental standards across the European Union. This means European Union law and regulations like the General Data Protection Regulation for Data Privacy or Environmental Sustainability directives are directly applicable in Finland and take precedence over national legislation when conflicts arise. Comparatively, Canada uses a common law system, except for Quebec, which follow a civil law system for private law matter. Common law system rely heavily on judicial precedents, whereas Finland's focus on codified statutes.
Okay, thanks for the overview. Could you tell us some of the key benefits in this?
Yeah, no problem. A key benefit for business is that Finland's legal environment is ranked as one of the least current globally. When rule of law is deeply ingrained, ensuring that every business, domestic or foreign, operates on an equal playing field. This consistency will build trust and confidence for companies like TWU Manufacturing when entering the Finnish market.
Thanks. In our next segment, we have the historical and the Nordic influence. And we have up next Tosin, who's going to shed light on this.
Thank you very much, Iten. So, Finland, over the years, Finland's legal system has evolved alongside the Nordic countries like Denmark, Sweden, Iceland, and Norway. Now, the most significant influence is from Sweden because of the historical ties that it shares. As a result, Finnish law aligns with the Nordic legal traditions, emphasizing the rule of law and citizens' fundamental rights. Now, similarly, Canada's legal system has a British influence, emphasizing principles of fairness, transparency, and respect for individual freedoms. However, Finland has placed a stronger emphasis on sustainability and collective welfare. This would definitely shape the business operations over there. Now, for instance, in Finland, contracts are often shorter and less confrontational compared to Canada, where agreements where compared to Canadian agreements, because trust is deeply ingrained in their culture. They are very particular about trusting each other.
Wow, so trust. That's very interesting. Thanks, Tosin. Could you tell us more about their code structures and processes?
Okay, so Finland's court system is very well organized, and it ensures impartiality at every level. Now, the judiciary operates independently, and judicial appointments are based purely on merit, which is very, very essential for safeguarding businesses. Now, the court system is divided into 3 categories. We have the general courts. These courts handle the civil and criminal matters. The general courts operate at 3 levels. The first level is the district courts. There are 20 in total in the entire country. This district courts, this is the first point of contact for disputes. So if you have any issues, this is where you go first. Now, the next level is Court of Appeal. There are 5 in the entire country. And this is for those seeking district court decisions, a review of the district court decision. So if you don't like what the district courts give you, you have to go to the Court of Appeal to appeal the case. Now, this Court of Appeal is in every major city, like
Helsinki.
Yes, thank you very much. That's the capital. There's Turku, there's Vasa, there's Kuopio, and there's Rovaniemi. Now, the next level is the Supreme Court. Now, this is the Finland's highest authority for legal interpretation, and it ensures uniformity in law application, no partiality. Okay, so the next category is the administrative court, which in my opinion is the most important for our business. Now, this resolves disputes between individuals or businesses and government authorities. They are very relevant for issues like environmental compliance or tax disputes. There's a Supreme Administrative Court, that is the final authority in these cases for conflict resolution. The next category is the Special Court. It is tailored for specific matters. And the Special Court has 3 levels as well. The Market Court, which is my personal favorite because the name. It handles competition law and intellectual property disputes. So if we have any issues with intellectual property, that's the court we go to. And then the next one is the Labor Court. It specializes in collective labor agreements. And then there's Insurance Court. It manages social security related disputes.
Thanks, Tosin. I remember Professor Sawatsky in our class, he gave us a group exercise where he asked us whether the legal system in Canada is effective. And we all ended up talking about the efficiency. And that's the same kind of question I want to pose to you. Whether the Finnish legal system, is it effective and efficient?
So my personal opinion, after all the research we've done, even though Finland has fewer specialized courts, I would say it is efficient and equally effective. Now, this is because they rely on codified laws, making it straightforward for businesses. You don't have to go through corners in Finland. And also, comparatively speaking, Finnish courts function relatively quickly. For an example, let's use this as an example. So if you have a summary procedural case, most of which are undisputed debt collection cases, it's just 2 months. It takes 2 months for it to be sorted. But if you have an extensive civil case involving full-scale trial with preliminary hearings and a main hearing, 8 months. While for criminal cases, the average handling time is about 3 months. Compared to Canada, where, like we know, it takes 3 years for just a simple case to be heard. So it is equally effective and efficient at the same time.
Wow, good to know that the legal system in Finland moves fast.
Yes.
Up next segment, we have business structures in Finland and Canada, the comparison. And to take that up, we have Devi.
Thank you. So let's discuss how your manufacturing business can establish a legal presence in Finland. The 3 most common options for foreign companies are LLC, partnership, and branch office. So LLC, it's similar to a corporation in Canada. This structure limits shareholders' liability to their investment. It ideals for companies looking to operate long-term in Finland. If you choose to set up a limited company, there is no longer a minimum capital requirement for private limited companies. But you will need 80,000 euros to set up a public limited company. Since you are a successfully manufacturing company in Canada, this information is vital. For partnerships are an ideal business structure option for working alongside one or more entrepreneurs. So in Finland, it's possible to have a limited partnership in which at least one partner is a sleeping partner or investor, meaning they are not involved in day-to-day affairs of the business. There is also a general partnership in which all parties are jointly liable for the partnership debts. Coming to branch office, so an extension of the Canadian parent company. While similar to setup, it lacks the legal independence of an LLC and could expose the parent company to risk. So before deciding which business structure is best for your needs, take a moment to think about how you want your business to look in long term.
Okay, thanks. Could you tell me how is the business process is done, and could you compare it with Canada?
Sure. So in Finland, business registration is straightforward and handled through the Finnish Parent and Registration Office. However, expert stricter compliance requirements compared to Canada. For instance, environmental regulations in Finland are governed by both Finnish law and European Union directives, which govern environmental regulations in Finland, requiring advanced waste management and emission controls. Finland mandates real-time financial reporting, which is audited annually compared to its Canada's more flexible timeline. Finnish labor law mandates collaboration with trade unions, whereas Canada provides more flexibility in labor arrangements, but also allows stronger unionization in some provinces. So another key difference in Finland's collaborative approach to labor law, trade union. It plays a significant role, and many industries, including manufacturing, operate under collective agreements. So while Canada also has unions, Finland's tripartite system,
Yes, tripartite.
Yes. System involving unions, employers, and the government can be more involved in negotiations. So both countries have competitive corporate rates, but Finland has stricter reporting and auditing requirements. In taxation, Finland takes 20% flat corporate tax and 24% of standard GST.
Thanks, that's good to know. Up next, we have legal risks and contracts. And to take up, we have Catherine, who will shed light on how some of the legal risks and how contract structures work.
Sure. The key legal risks when doing business in Finland, including strict adherence to European Union environmental standards, which may require adjustment to factory operations, strong protection for intellectual property through European Union treaties, and the Finnish market code, which requires carefully patent filings and IP management, employee-friendly labor laws, including mandatory negotiations with trade unions and robust employee protections. In Finland, contracts are legally binding one side, providing they meet statutory requirements. Finnish contract law is straightforward, focusing on mutual agreement and good faith. Finnish culture emphasizes transparency and trust, which means contracts are typically concise and clear. Specific clauses addressing delivery schedules, product standards, and penalties for non-compliance in manufacturing are common. Compared with Canada, Finland, unlike Canada, where contracts often include exhaustive clauses to preempt disputes, Finnish agreements are typically more concise and assume trust between parties. This cultural emphasis on trust does not mean lax enforcement. Courts in Finland strictly hold the terms of contract, ensuring a predictable legal environment. In manufacturing, contracts should clearly address delivery timelines and penalties for delays, compliance with environmental and safety standards, intellectual property protections, particularly for proprietary technologies or designs. Speaking of intellectual property, Finland offers robust protections aligned with European Union directives and international treaties. Any disputes are handled by the market court, ensuring efficient resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Catherine. That was very interesting. I mean, some of the legal risks that you spoke about. Could you tell us a few more legal risks that we could face in the future?
Yeah, sure. The key risks for Canadian business include the first, environmental compliance. European Union standards are among the strictest globally, requiring detailed environmental impact assessments. The second, labor laws. Trade unions are highly active and collective agreements can influence wages, working hours, and employee benefits. The last one is taxation. While corporate tax rates are competitive, Finland's comprehensive tax system includes detailed reporting obligations which may differ from Canada's practices. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Catherine. So after hearing all of you, I just want to summarize that the Finland's legal system sounds very well structured, it's transparent and business friendly. Well, with a strong emphasis on compliance with European Union regulations. While there are some cultural differences in legal and business practices when we compare it with Canada, they can be navigated effectively with proper planning. Now, some of the key points. First, Finnish Company Act. Depending on the company form, different laws and regulations will apply. The most common form is a limited company, as elaborated by Devi. The Act concerns, for example, the administration of limited company and the liabilities of shareholders. Next is the Business Income Tax Act. That's the share and the amount of different taxes the company is liable to pay. And this was again, Devi mentioned how much tax rates, the corporate tax rates is there. And similarly, the Value Tax Act as well, which she mentioned about the value added tax. Next is the labor legislation that consists of wide variety of acts, including Employment Act, Contracts Act, Working Hours Act, Annual Holiday Act, Collective Agreements Act. There are also regulations which concern employers and employees of different business fields and industries. In addition, the occupational health care for employees must be conducted. And finally, Accounting and Auditing Act. All the businesses are obligated to do up-to-date bookkeeping from the first day of company has been started. Companies have also notification obligations to different authorities, such as monthly VAT notifications to tax authorities. The company must also name an auditor and the audit of the accounts must be reported on the regular basis. Well, based on these, all of us have some recommendations for your expansion. First would be, and that would be on the priority, is to engage with the local legal counsel. to make sure that the compliance with Finnish and European Union laws are sound. Second would be adjust manufacturing processes to meet environmental standards, because this would be very vital that we follow those rules. Then third would be understanding labor laws and build positive relationships with trade unions. And next would be to safeguard the intellectual property, because we need to register and have some protection strategies that our intellectual property is safe and sound. And lastly would be to adopt Finnish contract practices so that it is transparent and it has concise terms. I believe with these measures in place, your company will be well prepared to establish a successful factory in Finland. Now, I know you are a bit nervous. I just want to reassure you that Finland has a very robust legal framework and a very business-friendly environment. And now, to recapitulate, I have Tosin, who will speak in a little detail about what we have discussed and concisely in a tabular format give us the gist, and she'll conclude.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, we've all said a lot, and if you look at the information packets that we've provided for you and the PowerPoint slides as well, we have highlighted the key comparison between Finland and Canada's legal system. That way, that would help you make informed decisions when setting up your company. Now, I wouldn't go back, because we've all said this, to mention all this, but in your personal time, if you want to look over the details, you have it in the information packet and also the PowerPoint. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.